Guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I got some news out of Detroit. Shout out Detroit. And this is crazy. It's about a disaster that was averted at a area graduation this past Tuesday, in which a 19 and 20-year-old man supposedly was a part of a thing where they was going to go and shoot up a high school graduation. And the particulars that the 19 and 20-year-old play in this is wild as can be. I don't know why there are people out there that seek to just commit carnage against a bunch of people in these chaotic situations created in areas where it's a mass amount of people that have nothing to do with your personal gripes with somebody else. But either way, man, I want you to see this because I'm going to show you a video where it talks about how bad this could have been. And then they talk to some family members of the people that was caught. And I'm not surprised at what I hear, but maybe you will. Take a look at this. Absolutely shameful.
We're going to go to our other top story now. Just minutes ago, we learned that a second person has been arrested for allegedly plotting a mass shooting at a high school graduation in Pontiac. Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard sharing that shocking news today. That mass shooting averted thanks to a strong tip that sent investigators racing for answers. We thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Glenda Lewis.
And I'm Simon Shakat. It all started with a fight at a commencement. We know this is so scary to hear about for every parent, student, and educator.
Yeah.
The Arts and Technology Academy of Pontiac saying on social media during our graduation ceremony an unfortunate incident occurred involving individuals who were reportedly seeking retaliation against others in attendance.
We now know that incident was a fight, but there's also much more to this horrific incident. 7 News Detroit reporter Darren Cunningham delivering everything we know right now.
The sheriff says the suspect's motives are unclear, but what is clear, what happened here could have spelled tragedy on what's supposed to be a joyous occasion.
Once the ceremony started, there was a prayer. And right after the prayer, right after the lady had said amen, she was handing the mic back to the superintendent. That's when the fight had broke out.
Christina Somerville, a proud aunt celebrating her nephew's graduation from ATAP, the Arts and Technology Academy of Pontiac, says security at the United Wholesale Mortgage Sports Complex got the situation under control. Tuesday's ceremony at the venue continued as normal, but now she's shocked to learn it could have been much more than that. In fact, it escalated to Oakland County Sheriff's deputies responding to the scene.
A person approached our deputies and gave them information that a family member had told them that they had seen on Snapchat a threat to shoot up this graduation ceremony, this graduation.
Sheriff Mike Bouchard says deputies and security at the venue dug deeper, learning the suspects had been seen putting packages underneath cars and left the scene. Those packages turned out to be weapons.
Now you've got weapons at the scene, a post that talked about a shooting of this particular event, and weapons recovered at the event fully loaded with high capacity magazines. Each weapon had a 40-round magazine, and they had one in the chamber and loaded magazines.
Investigators announced Friday afternoon they now have both suspects in custody, a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old. The sheriff says they're known to law enforcement, and the 20-year-old is already on probation for a weapons offense.
After almost all the shootings you see either here or around the country, someone after will say, yeah, he said this, or I saw that, or I read a post. Share information, share information, share information. If you see something, say something. Someone saw that post and we didn't hear about it until after we had arrived on the scene.
Once I found out more details and that it could have been a mass shooting if it would have went the way it was planned to go by the people that was planning that situation, I'm like, we could have not even been here today. Like, we could have been very hurt or not here. Bullets have no eyes, and it was very scary. It's very it's very traumatic knowing now what really could have happened.
I spoke with the school superintendent, September Williams, by phone.
We are grateful to Sheriff Bouchard and his team for capturing the individuals with the activity outside of our commencement venue.
In Pontiac, Darren Cunningham, 7 News Detroit.
Next News' Dave Kinchin spoke with the grandmother of one of those suspects. He joins us live now. Dave, what did she have to say about all this?
Well, you know, the grandmother says that she does not believe her grandson could be involved in something like this in any way because, for one, she says that he has a child of his own, and for two, to take part in something like this, she says he would be throwing his life away into the prison system. But Oakland County investigators say that they investigated this and that they are linking this threat to shoot a graduation party to him and another suspect, all thanks to a tip that a witness found on social media.
I think it's crazy. I really do.
LaVonda Newbern says she finds it hard to believe her grandson, 20-year-old Jamarion Hardiman, would be wanted for allegedly planning a mass shooting at a Pontiac high school graduation. But that's exactly why Oakland County law enforcement says they took him into custody.
He know that's prison time. Anybody know that. He only 20. He ain't trying to throw away his life. And that's what he would be doing if he was doing a massive shooting.
Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard announced Hardiman's arrest hours after making a plea for him to surrender. A 19-year-old was also nabbed. Investigators allege the two planted weapons under cars at a graduation ceremony held for Art and Technology Academy at the United Wholesale Mortgage Sports Complex on Tuesday. Deputies originally got to the scene for a fight when a witness told them about a message on Snapchat said to include a threat to open fire on the ceremony.
I believe probably prevented a mass shooting. When you consider the weapons that were there, the individuals that were involved who have a history of being involved with weapons.
Law enforcement worked with staff security at the event and said they found evidence pointing to the suspects placing these guns under vehicles, including a black and pink firearm and a Glock, both set with 80 rounds between them.
The fact that the investigators are saying this was a foiled mass attack.
That's crazy because there was no shooting at all. They had no shooting up there. I saw the whole video. I was up there. And I still ain't seen no shooting to happen yet.
What kind of guy is he? What kind of person is he?
Well, he just likes to play basketball, and he run around with a couple of friends. He don't have a lot of friends.
Is there anything that would have ever indicated anything like this?
I don't know. That I can't answer. But I know he didn't have a gun, so. And I don't know about who was with him. I don't know that person or none of that.
Sheriff Bouchard says neither suspect is enrolled at the school and the motive is not clear. LaVonda Newbern says she stands behind her grandson.
I don't know who had a gun, but they was just all fighting, not shooting at each other. So I don't know where the massive shooting come from or none of that.
Well, the sheriff says Hardiman is on probation for a weapons charge and does have a criminal history that is associated with violence. Now, we did ask the sheriff more about a possible motive, but the sheriff says that people are quick to resort to violence these days. The sheriff also touched on an issue he's been really pushing in previous cases. He says that he is all for criminal justice reform when it comes to nonviolent offenders, but when it comes to people who have a criminal history resorting or connected to violence, he says the system has to work better to hold these individuals accountable. Reporting live in Pontiac, Dave Kinchin, Fox 2 News.
Well, obviously, just because something didn't come to fruition doesn't mean that there wasn't some intent allegedly there. But, you know, when you hear about all of this, it did seem that, you know, as the police always say, if you see something, say something. And that's what did happen in this case, and it worked.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And that's what they stress, that this is what the sheriff said in this business. This is what they call a clue. And this is exactly how these things should work. You don't want any kind of plot or situation like this that could go down. But clues like that, people being vigilant and seeing something and reporting it, is exactly how the system should work.
And it's better to be safe than sorry. Thank you so much, Dave, for that report.
All right, guys. Another disaster averted. Another absolute refusal to hear the truth. Did you hear the grandmom? he got a baby. He know that dude prison time. He know. He ain't trying to mess his life up, ma'am. You are right. He ain't trying to mess his life up. He already messed his life up. He wasn't thinking about that damn baby. I'm going to tell you something. I don't know why a lot of women out here feel as though a baby is going to slow a man down in the street when history has shown that people do stuff out of their own selfishness without thinking about their own damn kids. She's sitting on TV, don't want to accept it. So obviously all the research and stuff that tracked them to him don't mean nothing, and he didn't do it. That's the thing. You got a grandmother. Her daughter's child or son's child, and she refuses. Of course, she sees him a certain way, but in the world, he's another way. But she don't want to hear it. That's the problem we got out there. I'm more than sure your son has seen his share of trouble that you've got him out of, but you don't want to talk about it. But you talking about this situation, and this situation is unfathomable. Didn't even go to the damn school, but you decide to go and aid in a fight at a graduation ceremony. From a Snapchat somebody told, and luckily nobody was hurt. They go in there and then drop weapons off under cars, unsuspecting people's cars, or probably the cars of the people that came there. A fight ensued. They called up the people and he responded, but this woman don't see none of that as a reality. Make it make sense. My eyes itching. Make it make sense. Of course, you got a baby don't mean nothing. And this is the problem we got out here. We got too many people standing on the dumb shit that their children create or grandchildren. So, I mean, how can you feel bad for anything? And then you wonder why a lot of people out here now get on camera and they're disingenuous. And then when some shit happens, they scream racism and all this other stuff and this and that. And that. Grandma, he not going to be doing shit around you. You understand what I'm saying? See, it's the way you are in the house around parents and grandparents. That's the way you are in the street. And a lot of people don't want to step over that and say, oh, I can see him doing that. Listen, we all been called to school before for our kids acting up. We know our children. As soon as they start saying stuff, we already know we've seen that type of trait in him or her. And we already know, and looking at the reaction of our kids, we know if they did it or not. Nowadays, people come in there and immediately profess the innocence of their child, no matter how heinous or wild the action. This is what's going on out here. How can you have any type of responsibility in somebody checking themselves if there's no accountability in anything they do? That's the question right now. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. I'm glad nobody was hurt, and I would show no leniency after they was caught up in that shit, and grandma can fall out and be mad all she wants.